Hey, good evening, folks. Welcome. Sorry, I was trying to get the, trying to see where to best stream this at. And I figured, well, we'll do it within Steam, but it's going to YouTube, which is fine. I figured we'd take a look at me. Why can't I get my camera up here? Hold on. Is that going to work? Uh-oh, we're getting audio from somewhere else. Give me 1 second. For some reason, audio is going to the main speakers and not my headset in the chat. I don't even think it's playing in the actual game or in the actual stream. I was moving things around earlier and I think I screwed it up. So give me 1 sec to find where that is. Let's see, default. I want to go to here. Okay, there we go. I hear it. It's kind of like buzzing noise is what we're hearing in the background. So, and it's supposed to be. Hey, Steve, how are you? Welcome. So yeah, this happened on Thursday. So just in case anybody was interested. Let's see. There we go. So this is what basically they were running a sale that you really have to dig into Steam. Now Steam's running their own sale. I figured we'd talk about a couple of them. But they are running a sale that you kind of got to dig into, and it's called the Indie Horror Showcase. So it was based upon like Dread XP and the Mix. I think they're the ones that are putting this on, not sponsored here, just those are the companies that are doing it. And in general, I figured we'd take a look at it, see what they're going to offer new in the indie space. And then we'll jump in, take a look at some titles and things like that are on sale right now for the Steam sale. So both are running sales on Steam. It's just the Indie Horror Showcase is kind of hard to find. And I'm not sure how loud this is going to be, so I'm going to kind of watch it really fast. I'm going to try to see what the output is on the stream here. If it's too loud, just let me know. But we'll get it. Hey, Luca, how are you? Yeah, this is the, they did kind of, actually I'd worked with Fulcrum Publishing on the Boom stock sale that was going on Steam a couple months ago. And I figured, not that I have anything to do with this, but we'd just take a look at and see what they were showcasing. So this is all indie horror games. Should be kind of interesting. I'm going to put it in front of me here so I can actually see it. Give me 1 second while this is all starting up.
Welcome to the second annual Indie
And what's
Horror
funny
Showcase.
is,
I'm your host,
if you look at the comments, John Wolfe got like a lot more positive than anything else. That makes you nervous.
After trailer of upcoming indie horror games and
but yeah, if you need me to turn it up, let me know.
Over the years. My first exposure to indie horror came in 2011 when I played Amnesia: The Dark Descent for the first time. Now, back then, there was no indie horror
Oh,
scene.
Luca, that's great.
There were frictional games and Half-Life mods, and that was about it. So, to see indie horror explode in popularity over the past decade...
Yeah, we're also having storms here, so who knows what Starlink will do.
It's been nothing short of incredible to see. Big thanks to Dread XP and The Mix for putting this whole thing on. Let's kick it off with some trailers.
Awesome.
I know, right? Get this guy off the screen already. We've got a first look at the next game from the developers of Home Safety Hotline. We've got the brand new trailer for the Fame Remastered, as well as the first new trailer in years for pixelated horror game Kingdom of Night. But first, one of my personal, most anticipated upcoming games. It's a hand-drawn horror game inspired by classic animated movies, along with a healthy dose of Clock Tower. Let's check out My Sweet Carol.
Oh, I think I've heard this one already.
It's already been several weeks since Carol left. And then that mysterious boy. Where are you, Carol?
God, the animation looks like Disney. Holy cow. Looks like Beauty and the Beast. I don't know. This was the wrong one. I didn't think about this one. This is different. Or I didn't see this one before. Okay. Like a supernatural Alice in Wonderland with horror. Okay, well, they're getting it on everybody. Who's their publisher? I didn't see it. I don't think it's Dread. Heard about it some time ago. Yeah, that looked pretty fancy. I mean, the animation work looked really good. The movements. Here's more pixel art style. Yeah, Steve, if they don't sue about it, I'll be surprised. How's that sound? It looked a little too close to Belle from Beauty and the Beast. Omut. All right, so Steam only. So that one really hasn't gotten the thumbs up from everybody to go to console off the bat. But that Sweet Carol did, so that was kind of nice to see. Narrative horror experience. I don't mind narrative, but it can't be a walking simulator. I don't even mind walking simulators necessarily. Most of these are a few hours long. Project Songbird. Okay. Oops, sorry. I got my mouse on the screen. Put it behind me. Okay. Wasn't really showing much there. I mean, it looked interesting in terms of like, looked scary, but doesn't look like much different from anything else like that. This looks like The Immortal. Just in that like isometric skewed style. Oh no. Is it another bullet hell? No. Doesn't look like it. Kingdom of Night. Okay. That one reminds me of like Enter the Gungeon meets Endless Dungeons of the Endless.
Escape here together, but it must rely on your
Just
power.
the look, the art design, but the mechanics look more like Enter the Gungeon.
What is this place?
If we can escape from here, I'll tell you everything.
Some kind of SCP thing.
Hello? Where is everyone?
Trust me, Alexia.
Dr.
There
Ulrich.
is no better.
I'm gonna make a guess that this is a Chinese-based studio. Psycho Dead, Moon Catalyst. It seems to be a lot of the Chinese studios are really pushing like Unreal 5 and kind of the hot female protagonist in like a Resident Evil-esque clone style. Oh god, it's PlayStation. I like this though. I like the homage to PlayStation that's been coming out. A lot of games, a lot of indie games are going for that that look and feel. This one's going for more look of the OS or the operating unit, the hardware. It's still cool. Sometimes weird can be good. Yeah, Kingdom does look good, Steve. Yeah.
Karma: The Dark World is a narrative psychological horror game with a dystopian story setting in post-war Germany. You will play the role of a Rome agent called Daniel, ruled by the Leviathan Corporation. Your job is stepping into the people's memories to uncover the truth or evidence. Here is a small preview of the twisted landscapes and horrors that lurk in the shadows of their minds. Enjoy.
It's like one of the hyper-realistic environments. I mean, obviously that isn't, but some of it looked like they were trying to do like a backroom style.
They're picked out for you by Mother.
Obviously, none of these look the best because you're watching it at 1080p off of Steam, hosting it from YouTube over a 720p stream through Starlink, right? None of it's going to look the best that it possibly can. No, I don't think this is. This definitely isn't going for that hyper-realistic look.
We are all lost lambs, are we not?
It's kind of crazy. Oh. They've already got the nod to get onto PS5, Xbox, PC. Okay. Well, Epic. Was this that Murky Divers? No. Can't be. Yes, it is, right? I have this game. It's kind of interesting. I think this is it. Maybe it's like a DLC or some kind of update to it. Yeah, there it is. Oh, it's an update, Halloween update. This is a fun game. If you guys haven't checked that out, that actually is pretty interesting. You basically start, if you haven't seen it, you start on like the submarine, and basically one person's controlling navigation, one person's doing this other thing, one person, it's like 4 people working together, and then you got to dive out and go like kind of get something, but get away from like the big bad that's kind of lurking around. Look at Atari bring in some, and Night Dive. I think Atari bought Night Dive, didn't they?
Happened?
I can't remember.
Infected just like
I
all
know
the
Night
others.
Dive is really into like
Not.
remaking
Put your weapon
games
down. No way. I'm not
or
going
remastering.
anywhere. Do you have
They've done
any
both.
idea what's going on out there?
The Thing was an interesting
perfect
game.
idea.
I haven't played this in years.
I think you'll be impressed.
This is the same game that I think that was on the PS2 or
Back down.
I think it was the PS2
You don't want this fight.
or
You know
Xbox.
damn well there's only one option here. It's over.
They need to remake some of these older PS2 games or remaster them to get them back onto PC. I mean, you can almost always emulate them, but
It ends now.
We're
it's not as easy to do some of the multiplayer stuff. So if they put the multiplayer back in. Speaking of that, Red Dead is coming out in the morning. I will be streaming that live at like 7 a.m. Pacific time. But, you know, that being a remaster.
One of the best aspects of indie horror
Oh,
games is
we'll
their
let John
creative
talk.
and unique presentation style. From characters with blue hair and pink jackets, to cardboard cutout guns, to hand-animated voyeuristic mail carriers, there's no shortage of eye-catching visuals or creative themes within indie horror. And yes, you're about to see all three of those things I just mentioned in the upcoming trailers, starting with the highly anticipated classic survival horror-inspired game, Sorry, We're Closed.
But Red Dead comes out tomorrow. I'll be streaming it, but the remaster doesn't include any multiplayer, which is kind of a shame. Not that I expected it to, because it wasn't on the Switch version, but they could have done that, which is kind of a little disappointing. Because it was fun. I mean, obviously you got Red Dead 2 online, but the multiplayer in Red Dead was actually pretty fun. So what I was saying in terms of like, if you're going to remaster anything to get the emulation crowd over, make the multiplayer something unique and better and all that on the remaster. Not just remaster the game in terms of making it playable on PC. It's an interesting game. It's kind of got like the third-person fixed camera, but then it jumps to first-person for combat. I can see that. Sorry, we're closed.
In the land far beyond the reach of ordinary maps, there lies a unique city called Paper Town.
I love it. I love the gun.
Cheerful cardboard
Like a
people
cutout
live
paper
there,
gun.
always inventing amazing new things beyond imagination.
In cardboard. It's like if Little Big Planet went into the horror first person genre. Doom genre.
Life in Paper Town was serene and happy. Until one day when the first bombs fell.
That's how it always starts. 100% free, what?
There you
I'd have to look at that.
My toy has finally come to finish his job. You dragged this out for so much longer than you had to. But it was always just a matter of time. You are going to have to stop running eventually. Everything stops running eventually. Except for me. All that's left is for you to take my hand and let me out.
Okay. Oh, Slay the Princess. So just a new like director's cut of it. I thought it was going to be like something from that developer. I saw this earlier today, I think. It was like a deck builder like Clue. That's what it reminded me of when I saw it. Sorry, I have to keep muting because I think I ended up getting a cold. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, that one... I think it's available to some streamers. Oh, this is the one that my buddy showed me the other day. Like you're trying to rob like an art gallery or something, and it becomes like Phasmophobia. Baraka. That's what it was. Yeah, that one looked pretty cool. It's like $10 or less, something like that. Maybe $8.99 while it's on sale. Although there's plenty of those style games out there now. I picked up Demonologist today. I had Phasmophobia, but I just picked up Demonologist today for like, because it was on sale in that Steam, was it Steam Scream 3D sale? Centum. So that's, I take it, going to be, oh, Serenity Forge. So I think it's going to be on Xbox Game Pass or something.
Have you heard of that game?
Does anybody have Xbox Game Pass?
They say that when you play it,
I know a lot of people do, but I know if anybody in the chat has it.
They say if you start playing, you have to keep going until the end. And if you don't... whatever you do, just keep playing.
The game looked like it was switching up a lot of different graphical flavors. Never minded these types of games, but just never was able to get through them. I don't know why. Although, look at that. I mean, it's got plenty of support for the platforms. It's got to be good. Or at least it's got to be good enough to get that much backing.
The heart. Fragile.
It's definitely a game based in the 90s. Oneway.exe. Oopsie daisy.
I'ma show you how to be a bad bitch.
Okay. Play as some kind of watcher. Tom Bosco. Okay.
Welcome back to the Indie Horror Showcase. I'm Justin Woodward, co-founder of The Mix, and this has been such a horror-induced extravaganza. The Thing remastered, Tom the Post Girl. Who would have thunk we would be celebrating such awesome horror games? Up next, we have some up-and-coming, soon-to-be horror classics that are retro-inspired games that will twist their pixels and give you lo-fi nightmares. These games are loosely inspired by legendary titles such as Resident Evil and Typing of the Dead. In this next segment, WayForward will be sharing a game where you definitely don't want to get warm and cozy with a man holding gigantic scissors. We also have a look at a new piece of content for the recently released Ash vs. the Evil Dead, just in time for a creepy Halloween. Let's get it in.
Yeah, Clock Tower. You gotta blow in the cartridge. Has anybody played Clock Tower? It's an excellent game. The original one. Well, there's a few of them, I mean, obviously, but I think there's 3, 4 Clock Towers? I can't remember. But this is the original one, as far as I'm aware. The Super Nintendo version. A lot of people know Clock Tower from the PlayStation version. Which was creepy as well.
Where did everyone go? Is anyone here?
What are we playing? Hey, Ari, we're not playing anything tonight. We were actually just sitting here watching the 2024 Indie Horror Game Show or Horror Showcase. So it's basically new games that are coming up. This is Clock Tower. So this is the original Clock Tower that was on the Super Nintendo years ago. Mako Eyes, welcome. So yeah, we were just taking a look at this, and then we're going to take a look at like some of the Steam Scream sale that's going on for the horror games. I figured we'd check this out. Oh, this one's cool. Maybe I hadn't seen this. This is kind of like a platformer that they split into 2 different games, and they may add more later. I don't know. I thought this was it. It's like $25 per game, though. I don't know if it's that interesting. Seems a little overpriced. Oh, no worry, Macross. Appreciate you stopping in tonight. But yeah, don't worry about it. Everybody jump in when they can. So you get like Halloween and you get, what is it, Evil Dead? And yeah, they're two separate games, but it looks like you got to pay $25 per game to buy both. And they're just platformers based off the same engine. I don't know. I thought it was interesting in terms of like the model that they used in terms of like pitching it. But I don't know how different it would be. No, this is like a an RTS Resident Evil. Or turn-based combat, yeah. This is kind of interesting. Vultures. What are we getting? An Earthbound? Which is also kind of like on the cusp of a horror game. It's a weird game. By the way, just letting everybody know, I told everybody earlier, tomorrow morning I am streaming early. We're going to do Red Dead Redemption for PC. So like 7 a.m. Pacific, I'll be streaming. I'll be back, I guess. And we'll take a look at the game. I'll probably just show kind of quickly how it runs on the Steam Deck and the Legion Go before we get into the full-blown like playthrough. And we're going to do the Undead Nightmare part of it. No, sans the multiplayer. No multiplayer in it. Which is unfortunate. And then I'll probably do Dragon Age, a little bit of that on, Wednesday when it comes out? We'll check out the first few hours of it. And then I think on Halloween, I'm going to do Demonologist stream and we'll do some stuff. RDR1 launches tomorrow morning. So 7 a.m. my time, Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern in the U.S. But you can preload it now if you bought it. I think they started preloading on Friday. So I preloaded on all the devices last night. And I don't think there'll be a patch or anything. I don't know, maybe there will be, but hopefully they kind of locked it in, like did a Gold Master, and the preload is what they're going to ship in terms of playable. This looks interesting. Blood types, kind of like a multi-co-op, something like that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back into some Red Dead 1. I still had hopes that they would basically do Red Dead 1 launch and then do some kind of tie-in with Undead Nightmare on Red Dead 2 online or something like that. I thought that'd be cool if they just basically mimicked it. They won't. They're just going to charge you $50 for the same exact game from the Xbox without multiplayer. I'm not bitter. I can't help it. I did want to play the game again. Painted in Blood. That looks nice. I like that. Kind of reminded me a little bit of Witchfire and Painkiller, but that's funny because Witchfire is made by the devs that used to make Painkiller, or some of them. Which I don't know, maybe the rest of them went and made that game. I mean, it looks like a Metroidvania with extra characters. Definitely with the Castlevania inspiration, as well as, I don't know, some of it doesn't look like that. But then there's a lot of it that does. Oh, Alawar. I know those guys. I didn't know they were making that. Haunted Lands. Alawar used to... So I worked with Alawar for years. They used to be a casual games only company, or majority of it. So like hidden object games and stuff like that is what they would make for basically the 60 and up female demographic. And then they kind of transitioned a little bit when they saw that market dying, literally and figuratively, and kind of shifted to get into indie. And they had okay run. They've done some good things, but they've definitely leaned more that way now, it looks like. Escape room stuff.
There is no time limit. We hope to be working with you soon. Thank you for applying. May the patron guide your way.
Escape from Mutant Station. Okay. Probably a few hour type deal. The manly badass hero. Alpha Beta Gamer. Jeez. The Mason scale? That's interesting. Okay. Something different. Uh-oh. He'll never get ahead. Voltage. Oh, okay. Puzzle. Gory type puzzle style gameplay. Last Friday. Not really into like super gory stuff, but there's a crowd. Well, this looks cool. It looks like a JRPG, but I don't think it's turn-based. So it's more of a shooter. That's kind of neat. I like that. Play the demo and wishlist now. We'll have to take a look at that one.
Subject log 1. The Morse. This object is single-handedly... We have to keep this thing on. Otherwise it'll be another 2-week scouting mission before we find it again. Thing almost has a mind of its own.
Did anybody play, what was it called? Mouthwash? Mouthwashing? Was that it? Mouthwash or mouthwashing? That one's interesting. This kind of reminds me a little bit of that.
End of log.
The Victor Initiative. Mouthwashing, I got a chance to see that at PAX before it launched. That was really cool. They allowed you to play, like, man, about an hour. And I do like that game. I haven't played it yet on the stream or on any of the devices, but we'll probably check that one out. Probably after Halloween kind of ends, the October month. Roguelike deck builder. Shocking. Looked more entertaining than truly horror. Ooh, what's this? Oh, we're on a guided on rails Five Nights at Freddy's. Oh, find the anomalies. Okay. So an on-rails kind of demonologist, I guess. Maybe a little bit more. Paragnosia. There we go. Oh, I played this a long time ago. This is 20 minutes to serve. 20 minutes? 10 minutes? Something like that. 10 minute survivor, 20 minute survivor, something to that effect. They had like the demo or the prologue, which was like 10 minute. And this one's like the full game, which I think is like 20 minute. 20 minutes till dawn. That's it.
From the author of Suffer the Night and Terror at Oakheart. You've seen something unspeakably evil.
Man, don't you know not to sneak up on people like that?
No one believes you. Not the manager, not the radio host.
We got bounty.
Hey,
Not
Nika,
even the
working over at
gas
the garage
station clerk.
Sounds spooky.
It knows you've seen it. You'll do anything to protect yourself.
Hey, Nika! Happy Halloween!
But he will do anything to protect his secret. Massacre at the
Bathroom.
Garage.
Okay.
Where every scream is the final
That looks
cut.
cool.
Rated R.
Ever feel like you're being watched? I do. Right now. I feel like there's thousands of horror
Looks like the
fans
stream
watching
is
me. And in some of the games we're about to
adjusting.
see, you'll also feel like you're being watched.
Wow,
And
look at how
you'll
much
be
time we have
right.
left.
Because
Holy
there
cow,
really
we've been
is
watching this for
something
an
following
hour?
And it may appear
still got a
in the
half
most
hour.
unexpected place. Like in the upcoming full release of farming
7:20.
horror game We Harvest Shadows. Don't mind if I star do. Leave that in, please.
Go away. Oops, sorry. I paused it. I was trying to get the toolbar to go away.
Hi everyone, my name is David, and I'm the developer of a farming horror game called We Harvest Shadows.
Oh god, it's got the amount of money on top. It's just the same thing as Creepy Shift.
Here's a couple new things I'm working on.
You gotta live in a scary
If you've played
place,
the
work in
demo,
a scary
you know
place.
A big theme of the
You gotta do
game is
projects,
Garrett
you
trying
get
to
paid for
distract
each one.
himself from his inner demons.
That's
and
exactly
the
the
ATV
same thing.
definitely helps him with that. It even has a trailer to help with looting across the abandoned landscape.
Do you craft?
But
That would
even
be
a
my
fun
guess.
vehicle doesn't change how terrifying the nights are for him. There will be plenty
Yeah.
of new haunting enemies in the full game, including a shape-shifting entity inspired by one of my favorite films, It Follows. You can try the demo now on Steam, and thanks for
I
watching.
mean, I think it's cool, but there was nothing wrong with that gameplay, but it's the exact same thing as what we played the other day, I think. There's no crafting. You're not getting materials to build, so it's not like survival crafting more. It's just basically like survive taking care of the property and get paid. And then the money, the way it worked with Creepy Shift was the money went to, basically your points at the end. The demo for this was fun. Which one, Mako? Sorry. Was it that last one we just saw? Because it could be delayed. I'm not sure which one you were saying. It was fun.
Cries out to be heard. Careless of the ear it finds. And she who listens hears your call. And seeks new friends to take away.
A desk. It's like some Super Meat Boy style gameplay there. It does look like Super Meat Boy. Okay. Interesting. With like narrative. That could be fun. I mean, that's the super challenging styles of whatever that is, like I'm the Boshi or Super Meat Boy or whatever, right? Where it's like super
I'm
difficult.
going to stop this.
Just seems like an interesting combo.
I hear something crawling in the wall. Please say you can help. I can't see your face.
Welcome to the Home Safety Hotline team. Here, we provide solutions to all types of home safety concerns. As an operator, you'll take calls from residents facing household hazards and provide instructions to help them out. Oh, we're getting a call now. Let's take a look.
Problems.
I've been hearing this weird sound coming from the walls. Not exactly sure what it is, but I've been having a hard time sleeping at night because of this sound.
Looks like our caller needs help. Based on behaviors, sounds, and other information, your task is to identify the correct hazard being described. Looking through our list of hazards, we can see that the whistling fungi is
Love
the best
all
fit for this
developers
caller's
are
situation.
enthralled with
They
like
should evacuate immediately.
like
Let's listen to
90s
another one.
computer technology.
Someone's breaking into my house and going through all my stuff at night. I know it's Bob from accounting. Going through my papers, taunting me with your organization skills.
Please hold. This looks like the work of a desk hob. Better let them know before something bad happens. Now that you've been properly trained at Home Safety Hotline, you're prepared to face all types of dangerous household hazards.
It'd be interesting. I mean, if the game's kind of like that home video style, like components, but then like add in the detective work or the finding of like demonologist or whatever, style to like determine like what it is, but then you get to go visit. I don't know.
No!
What's going on with the inhaler? Crowded, followed. That's what it's called? Crowded, followed? Oh, cool. So kind of the top-down, like Hotline Miami style, but horror. Looks like it even has like the vision, was it cone of vision? Like where, like if you're in a room, you can see like certain things out the door, kind of like in Darkwood. Empty shell. Okay. I love how it was playing havoc with your ears there, going back and forth. Would have been nice to show a little bit more. It looked like one of those like found tape style.
Is that you, Olivia? Everyone's been looking everywhere for you.
It's already too late.
What is it? Scared? Scarred? I think something like that. Yeah, I mean, those types of games are cool as long as it's not based heavily on like, and there's nothing wrong with this, but I mean, in general, like it mixes. If you base things too heavily on like some kind of local type of horror, like say it was Indonesian and it was like a very specific Indonesian horror theme thing, whatever, the gin or whatever, I forget what it's called. But anyhow, it doesn't always hit the same for everybody globally, right? It becomes a little tougher to make horror scary when you don't have any like reference to that. But if it's just in general, like generic, like what do you call the one where the girl creeps out of the TV or that movie series, right? Like, I think people have enough reference to that, but like some can get like really specific. Out of hands, okay. Oh, this mortuary assistant. Anybody play this? This is good. This is done really well. It's a shorter experience, but yeah, overall it's fun. Oh, now it's coming to console. Oh, Super Rare does the physical releases, don't they?
Hello?
I forget who it is. Like one of the arms of like Devolver does that, and then there was like the one company that specialized in putting out like physical releases of indie games. I think it was Super Rare, but I can't remember their name. Something like that. It's a creepy game. White knuckle. Okay. That's kind of cool. There was another one, Lores. I basically played it for the Steam Deck. What was it called? Lore? Something like that. It was kind of like this. I don't think it focused as heavily on the climbing aspect. You were basically going down instead of going up. Which, you know, obviously there's differences there. But same idea, like you're traversing your way down.
One thing I love about indie
But
horror
then,
games
like,
is how chaotic
in
they
that
can
one,
be.
looks like
One
you're
minute you're playing as
parkouring
a mayhem-loving
upwards or
cat
whatever.
in the game Gory Cuddly Carnage. The next, you're shooting, exploding, splicing, and dicing demons in the game Devilated. And the next thing you know, you're being held at gunpoint in your bedroom while a weird guy in a cloak watches you click. Wait, what? The game's called Click-Holding. Okay, that's pretty funny. Let's check out the next batch of chaotic indie horror trailers, starting with a combo trailer for Click-Holding and Life Eater.
Stay with me. I want you to stay with me.
Keep clicking.
What I leave, I ask and see if you'll stay with me.
Click-Holding and Life. Is it the same game? Or is it two different games in the same thing? So that's kind of interesting.
Welcome to my stronghold.
people of Madresti are cattle. Oh, but the scent is sweeter than ever. This place, it's not even a shadow of its former glory.
You think I'm cruel, but you don't understand that I'm trying to help those who have lost hope.
Blood gives me strength. Vartim, what have you done?
Vampire Dynasty. Okay, Toplets is doing it. For some reason, when I looked at that, I'm like, oh, it's third person Skyrim in the vampire like section of that. That's what I mean, just the way he moved and stuff like that. But the fighting was a little too fluid, I think, for Skyrim style. I don't mind a good boomer shooter.
I go gun fu. It's fucking raw. What's my most traumatizing experience? I don't know. But I know what yours is. Dodge this. Wink, motherfucker.
That looks promising. I like that.
Fuck you and your eyebrows.
Kind of a like the Duke Nukem feel. Oh, I saw this one over. So this just came out today, I think.
If you find
yeah, this one just released today.
Address.
I saw that. Okay, might have to get that. That one looks pretty cool.
Grandma used to say she traveled the worlds when she was a young woman. She stopped telling stories not long after Mom left. Grandma saw a lot of Mom in us. Curiosity, passion, wanderlust. She shared windows into her strange interests. I have to keep going. No turning back now. Fuck. Okay. Basement. No way. Wasn't there a statue here before? No way. Memories? Emotions? I can't remember. I can't remember what's happening to me.
This is gory. I didn't think this was a horror game, though. This is like, to me, I don't know, like, in a way, it's kind of like what am I thinking of? With Dante. Like a beat 'em up, right, in that sense. Like Bayonetta or whatever, but not, exactly that. Yeah, for some reason, I don't know. I guess I didn't see this as a horror game because I have this. I played it on the Steam Deck, and I think I even did it on the Legion Go. It ran well. It's good. It's a really good game. Oh, they added Twitch integration. Oh, that's cool. I might have to check that one out. I thought it was fun. It definitely didn't feel like you had to play gory for like a Halloween or an October time frame. I think it was Isla. Thanks for the like on Twitter. Or X. Sorry. Isla, yeah. And Stella Gaming and Daphne, thank you for the likes. Projects beyond order. Okay. Well, this is a good game. This is, oh, what is it? I've got it. It's a Dark Souls style game, but you're carrying 3 different build types with you at all time. 3 or 4, I forget how many. And you can switch to them just on the fly. You can be a knight. You can be kind of like a barbarian, or like a heavy armored barbarian knight or something like that, a mage, and a thief, I think. And you can just switch randomly between all 4 characters, but it's Dark Souls, or Souls-like, sorry. It actually is really, really interesting. Deathbound, that's it. Oh, it launched today as well. Okay.
Peggy 18.
The infection was spreading too fast. So we did what the protocol dictated. We closed the doors and locked everyone inside. It was the only way. There was no other choice. I'll keep repeating it until I start to believe it, but... God, the sounds... Faces... I can't get them out of my mind. God have mercy on their souls.
I was kind of thinking Lovecraftian for a moment, but I don't think so. Given it looked like it was at sea and there was like the tentacle guys. That's possible. Beneath. Blind exposure. It looked kind of interesting. I mean, I could kind of imagine like you're doing something where there's a storyline of like you're taking pictures and then exposing it, and that's when you're seeing like the anomalies and like the creatures. This definitely has that like PS1, 2 look and feel. Yeah, well, there you go. Cold and Afraid. I pretty much try any, like I said, boomer shooter, so probably check that one out. Coven.
Something so wretched.
They're watching me. Stop it! I know, no.
Coming up on Dark and Deep. Dear listener, after all the watching, all the waiting, all the dead ends, dead air, and death threats, finally, they emerge from the shadows. Maybe you're in a dark place, in a fog. Maybe you've been swallowed up by the beasts that dwell in the shadows.
Sorry, I'm surprised we haven't seen a VR title yet tonight, like horror VR.
Maybe I'm next.
It may just go to show that VR's really just not got an audience right now, or it's like slowly falling apart. A modern classic. Oh, that's what they're saying. Yeah, it's kind of sad though about VR. I mean, there's just not too many games. Now, granted, this is probably the best year, or at least the best quarter of games coming out right now for VR.
Support for this broadcast is brought to you by Dave's Shave and Save, a monthly
Shave and Save.
for men who want clean shave, dirt
With Batman, the new released Batman. There's the new.
promo code AWAKE.
What's the new Alien VR game coming out? There is the new. What's the one with the train system? Can't think of it right now. In Russia, it's based in Russia. It's like Cold War had happened. Everybody was blowing stuff up. Why can't I think of it? Metro. So there's the new Metro. I mean, there's a few other ones I can't remember just right off the top of my head. Hell, even like that Demonologist that I just bought today supports it. Supports VR, but yeah, it's unfortunate. Not a huge amount of support. Alien Rogue Incursion is the alien one. Yeah, Mako is. Yep. That one comes out, what, in November, I think it is? Maybe early December, November. Then there's Metro that just launched. Or is launching, sorry. I think it launches this week. And then Batman came out. Like earlier in the year, they had some remasters of some other kind of cool like games that came from console and PC, like Bulletstorm. Wasn't it Bulletstorm? They put on VR. There's just been some other really cool games this year that have like popped onto VR, but in some ways I think it's a little too late. Although I still like mine. I was playing it this is how it goes to show. I was playing it last week. So maybe every few weeks is when I pick up the VR headset. So, and I've even got like behind me is like the PS VR 2, like the one for the PlayStation and stuff like that, which has amazing VR titles on it, but just don't play as much as I'm part of the problem, I guess.
End of our show, but don't worry, we've still got some bangers up our sleeve. Are you interested in murdering someone and then investigating that murder as a detective? Then you'll probably like Sniper Killer. Or how about streaming your own death on the dark web? You'll want to check out the aptly named Dark Web Streamer. Finally, how does an atmospheric typing horror game sound? Because that's exactly what Dead Letter Department is, and we got the brand new trailer for you right now.
Typing games are pretty fun. If you're good at typing, like, what was it? Typing of the Dead? Like the House of the Dead, like typing game that they did for the Sega Dreamcast years ago. And then I think it's available on Steam, but something like that, right? Somehow they put it on there. I forget what version of House of the Dead it's on, but yeah, there's some interesting ones like that. It'd be worth checking out a demo if they have it. I think that looks okay. Oh my God, it's chibi, like pixel art. It's Animal Crossing. That's exactly it. It's Animal Crossing horror. We see a shady-looking raccoon trying to sell us real estate. We know what's up. Is that Mercy?
There's a serial killer on the loose, terrorizing the city with a sniper rifle. Play as the mysterious sniper killer. Follow your orders and take down your targets.
This reminds me of, like, what was it, 2002, 2003, when the DC snipers were running around shooting people from out of the back of a trunk of a car.
Get spotted as you traverse the rooftops.
You're down for Animal Crossing horror? Yeah, I can see that. That's what it looked like.
Then Switch characters to investigate the crime scene as a detective, question all witnesses, and collect evidence needed to solve the case.
Have you seen anyone suspicious coming here over the last hour or so?
I mean, everyone who comes in here is suspicious.
Yes, I saw a strange man. Once upon a time.
Meet dozens of interesting characters, but don't let
Literally
your guard
looks
down.
like
The
some. Have you guys ever seen Poop Killer?
I could be a
The series, like Poop Killer 1 through, I think they just put 8 out this year. They're hilarious, by the way. But it looks like the same artist came in and did these characters.
Or will you be his next victim?
I wonder if it's from the same thing.
And you are all alone. Are you not, Annie? You with me? Come on, up on your feet.
You are a T-class tester. Tests paranormal entities that we have replicated here.
Oh, I think this is one based on like SCP type stuff.
I know this place.
I saw this today. Yeah.
Are at the heart of the spiral where worlds collide.
Annie or something like that. Look at that arm. Holy cow. They've obviously got something wrong with their...
This is not what I meant when I said you should take control for a change.
Each turn you took has led you to this exact point at this exact time. And here we are now.
You can't do it by yourself. Come home, Annie.
No, come home, Annie. Yeah, or go home, Annie. That's it. Yeah, I saw this one earlier today. It looked interesting. Because I was definitely on the hunt. I was thinking, well, I'll go with Demonologist or I'll find... I'm surprised we haven't seen anything like with liminal spaces or with back rooms, like new take on those. Spoke too soon, maybe. Holy.
I feel afraid.
Scariest thing here is the radiation that comes off of the CRT monitor.
You will stream. They will watch. They will follow. Sacrifice yourself. What is inside of you? Cry. Bleed. Stream. 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 Stream.
Okay, that could be a little creepy. They have a lot of what would you say, like content to work with on like that type of thing with all the stories that come off the dark web.
Check out and wish list any of the games you saw on Indie Horror Showcase's Steam event page. Some of them have demos you can play, and some of the games are even fully released right now. Once you've wishlisted your favorite upcoming games from the showcase, feel free to follow.
By the way,
me,
in the
Don
description
Wolf,
is
on
the
YouTube.
actual
I
link
post
to the Steam
daily,
page for the
videos,
Indie
as
Horror
well as
Game
more
Showcase.
general horror
So then you can
content
see
like
all the games that were
viral
in there
ghost
if you wanted to check it out.
debunkings,
It took me a little bit of time to
retrospectives,
find
and a
it
lot
because
more.
you have to look through
Massive thanks to
some of the Steam
DreadXP for
stories
asking
and
me
stuff like that
host
to be able to
Indie
find the
Horror
link.
Showcase. And big thanks to the
But we'll take a
Mix
look
for
at it
being an
after
incredible
John's done talking.
All right, go wishlist some games, play some demos. Happy Halloween month, everybody. Think critically.
Very nice. You did an all right job hosting. Very cool. All right, let's scroll and take a look. I don't know. The ones that I would probably be interested... That Satanic one looked kind of interesting off the bat, even though it was like so slight in terms of what they showed. But they do have it, so you can get it as a demo. The Mountain Break one, or sorry, Whisper Mountain Outbreak. That one I like, so there's a demo on that. If I just click this, does it throw... Yeah, there we go. Let me just throw this in there. I'm going to try some of these. Play around with them. See if there's any that, want to run and try on a Steam Deck for some of those videos. I don't usually do demos, but it's been like the month of demos, right? With everything going on. So I was showing like some of the Steam Fest demos. Then I'm showing some of the Steam 3D Fest. Or no, what is it? Steam Scream 3D demos. And now some of these ones here. Monster DNA. That one kind of looked interesting. I don't think I would do Cabernet. Was it the Victor? This is the one I thought was like mouth-washing in a way. It kind of reminded me of it. The Hungry Fly. I don't know. Some of them I'm just going to probably go back to and check out, but the ones that I really liked off the bat were, like I said, that Satanic, just for the small bit that they showed of it. This one, what else? Vampire Dynasty kind of was interesting, being that it is an open world type game. That was the only one of its kind of thing. So, with no demo. What is it? Blood Typers. Oh, this was the one. Yeah, Blood Typers I think I would play. But no demo, I don't think. Just got to wish list it. 20 minutes till dawn. This one's a good, like if the Survivor games, it's definitely good. It's cheap. And it's available on mobile as well. So you can actually, if you have an iPhone and that's the only thing you could, had to play, you could play it on there. There's that Coven, that kind of boomer shooter. No demo on that, but we'll wish list that. Check it out later. The Deep Dark. This was that one. Okay. Sure. I mean, it doesn't hurt to wish list. It does help the developer, right? But in a way, it almost kind of like is false information. But if they're looking for a publisher, they can say, hey, we've got thousands of people that have done this thing, right? That we asked them to do, wish list. And, that helps sometimes. Oh, was it Home Safety? Yeah, this was the one. Interactive fiction, point and click, definitely around the 1990s. That one looked kind of interesting. I do have Deathbound. This is a great game. If anybody ever wanted to see that one, I could stream that one or at least do some more videos. But I do have it already done for like I said, the Steam Deck videos on YouTube and stuff like that. Murky Divers is fun. like I said, it's probably, you can play it one player, but it definitely takes like more. It's funner with co-op, but it's definitely, if you haven't checked it out, it's worth checking out, and it's cheaper. This is that new one, so $12. I'll probably get that because this one definitely looked like over the top, crazy. I don't know if I want to abduct and torture people. It's not my thing. Gory, obviously. Like I said, that one's pretty fun. It's more like a, kind of, I didn't think it was horror so much. It says horror, but I don't know. Just haven't felt like it was horror. Mortuary Assistant's good. What else do we got? Was that it? Well, it doesn't seem like a lot. Dark Hours. Oh, this was the one. Maybe. Oh, the clicking one. Yeah, this one looked good. So that is 2 separate games. They just showed them together, but Click Holding and Life Eater are 2 separate games, where I thought it was like you buy one to get both, but 2 separate things. Kingdom of the Night. This is the one that I think Mako Eyes, was it Steve? Steve said that. And it does look like kind of like Dungeons of the Endless, and that was the one. Yeah, Dungeons of the Endless, and then Enter the Gungeon is what I thought. Kind of the 2 styles. Let's take that and throw that on there. And I think that's it. I think those are the ones that I was kind of like, okay, these for me would be interesting. And probably my top one, I don't know why, just the stylized stuff that I like to check out is this Whisper Mountain Outbreak. I think that one's kind of cool. But we'll check them out later at another point. I just wanted to walk through there. But let's while we've got everybody here, let's take a look at the, we got like 20 minutes, 15 minutes. Let's take a look at the, what's on the Steam sale and just see if there's anything worth pointing out. So the Steam Scream sale, 3D. Yeah, but funny enough, no VR for any of those games, but they are pointing out VR games on the Steam one. So, although they have somewhat of a vested interest. Let's see here. The Mummy, Metroidvania. Well, maybe not. Maybe just a platformer. Is this off the movie, The Mummy? Demastered. Interesting. Okay. I don't think I ever saw this. It definitely looks like a Metroidvania style, but maybe it's just more of like a platformer and it's like a linear thing. It looks kind of cool. Man, what a disappointment. To me, I didn't think Dead Island 2 was that great. Dismantle's interesting. I've tried the demo for that one. Stray, tried the demo for that, or played it on another platform, but tried it on, I think it was demo on Steam or whatever. Blasphemous, that's a good franchise. I mean, the beginning of one. It's like a Souls-like Metroidvania. It's not bad. 15. This is that Retro Realms arcade. I kind of like this, but if we dig into it, like it says $24, right? Or $24.99. But then it's like, oh, if you want, that's just for the Halloween version. And it's kind of in this 3D container app. Yeah, Mako Eyes. That's what I was thinking. Like, I don't know. I know that like, what's the other one? From the same team. that split off and they did Dying Light 2, right? That was, I don't know why, just another disappointment to me in that sense. The first Dead Island was just, I don't know, right on par. The first Dying Light was right on par. Then it kind of like diverged, and just the follow-ups probably had bigger budgets but didn't do well. I don't know. They just didn't feel as good or as solid or fresh. These are neat. See how this is like this like arcade that you go in, but it's like a 3D container app, and then it's just these two games, and you got to buy, if you want both, you got to pay $50 for them instead of the way they market it is like $24.99. That's only for one game. I don't know. Interesting. As a publisher, I'd probably try that as well. But yeah, it's the same engine. It's going to be basically the same game, just with different IP. I don't think it's going to be too different. A deck builder. Why is Spider-Man in here? Because they're wearing costumes? That's the only thing I can think of. Outer Wilds. That's a good game. Again, not really seeing the horror aspect here, but it's a good game. Lethal Company's funny. I can see that. Or fun, right? Like in that sense, it's pretty good to play. But I mean, I can see why it's there. 9 Souls. Souls-like. Again, not necessarily seeing the connection to the horror. Dead by Daylight. Sons of the Forest. Get that. Survival. Yeah, survival horror. That one's Human. Free to play. It looks good. I don't know. I've never tried it though. I have it in my library. I've never even tried it. I'll have to take a look at it. Cult of the Lamb's really good. It was funny when that game. So those guys are they're based in Australia, I think. I was at Gamescom the year that this game came out, and I had just seen the game maybe a week before, 2 weeks before when it launched. I forget when it was. Gamescom was in like August. And I was going to like countries other than the US have like basically a czar of video game development in every country other than the US, right? Kind of thing. States have it. Like in the United States, the states like Washington State or California, they will have like a group that's kind of semi-connected to the digital gaming industry through various channels. Sometimes it's just because they support small businesses or something like that, right? But in other countries, like in Germany, or there's like, dedicated groups of people, like with a leader that's sitting there and basically putting money together to take games out of Germany and showcase them like at what would have been E3 or like at PAX or, game developer conference. And you'll see these like groups of countries come over to show like their stuff in the US and vice versa. If there's like the Tokyo Game Show, Germany sends its people and Indonesia sends its people and all that stuff. The US never really does that. It's based on the states kind of thing here. And they don't do a lot for video game development in terms of funding and that stuff. But get back to the story, when I was in Gamescom in Germany in 2022, Call to the Lamb had just come out, and the developer was at the Australian game consortium or whatever it is. And they were just the single developer. I think it was only 2 guys that worked on it at the time, or maybe a smaller team. But one of the original, designers, developer, the people that came up with it was there. I don't know his name, but had a chance to say hello. they had introduced him to the crowd as like, there was only like 15 of us or 20 people there having drinks, but like, they were like, oh, this is our biggest success story is how they put it out as, right? And it definitely was at that point. I think Cult of the Lamb had sold at least 1 million copies within 2 to 3 weeks. So something like that. Yeah, it was Dying Light, Mako. Yep. So yeah, that was kind of interesting meeting those guys. Super humble, right? At that point, they were like, we just, made $10 million or whatever, $25 million, but they hadn't even received the money yet. That's just what the sales had equated to. So like super humble people, really, really nice guy. Last of Us, see that. And I don't think that they support FSR 3.1 on Last of Us. Out of all the Sony titles, I don't think that one does support it. And that makes it, obviously run better on the Steam Deck, on the Legion Go and stuff like that. Phasmophobia, got this. Thought about playing this on Halloween, but it's going to be a toss-up between Demonologist and probably Phasmophobia. I did get Dead Space working, funny enough, and this is a great price if anybody hasn't played the game. I would definitely consider this one. Yeah, for some reason the game would crash right when I started it up, and I was on a big gaming rig the other day, like last Thursday or whatever it was, before we played Creepy Shift. And the game runs amazing now. I don't know what happened. I just basically restarted the PC and, updated the graphics drivers on the graphics card, so works fine now. I don't know what it was. It was just weird. Again, Spider-Man, not too sure. Silent Hill, obviously amazing, but going to be high price. You can get it for like $48 if you go to like gg.deals. I forget who has it on sale there, but usually that's the place I go to check and see like how cheap a game can be or something like that. What else did they have up at the top? I mean, these are all their big kind of hitters and some of the more up and coming games. What did they have as VR? I'm just curious. I know there's probably not a lot of VR fans. Batman. I think the other this is the one that just came out. This is the kind of shorter experience, maybe like an hour and a half, something like that. The other Batman game, I think, is exclusive to MetaQuest right now. And if it's not just exclusive to them, I think it is, because they were giving it away if you bought a MetaQuest device, the most recent one, the MetaQuest 3S or something like that. Convergence, that kind of looks cool. Looks interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that one. It might be fun in VR. Post-apocalyptic shooter. Madison, I think I played this on PC, like without VR. It's kind of like one of those horror games. Duck Season. Oh, is this like a big duck hunt game? This is like the best example for VR. I think if you really or have ever been a fan of like on-rail shooters, VR is the best platform. It's even better than having like the whole light gun and, the light guns that now work with like, LCD screens and OLEDs and stuff like that. There's nothing that beats the experience in a solid VR on-rail game. They're just fantastic. If you can stand the VR experience and you don't get like physically ill from it. They are some of the best. There's a great game. Subnautica. I don't know I guess it has horror in it. I don't know. I never see that as horror, but it does. But in VR, this game's amazing on a good rig with a good headset. It's like Half-Life Alyx is amazing. Devour's amazing. The Forest is amazing. Phasmophobia is cool. What else do they have? I mean, VR has like its thing, right? Like if it has like a really good title, Arizona Sunshine, this is the remake. Not 2. They came out with 2, and I think they basically just remade 2 or 1 off of 2's engine. But yeah, you can have some amazing VR experiences. You need House of the Dead in VR. Oh man, there are so many. I'd probably say a better experience. Well, House of the Dead would be amazing. Let's just say that. Like, definitely, like one built for VR would be much better. But if you'd ever have the chance to play, if you ever have a spare few $100s, let's just say that, and you go out and you buy like either a PS5 or buy a PS4 because it's probably cheaper. You're not going to get anything better. Buy a PS1 VR headset and then buy that game. Oh, what the hell is it? It's the one that comes with the PS aim gun. So it looks like a rifle, like a futuristic rifle kind of thing. It came with that, and it was like you were out in outer space and you were picking somebody up, and your ship got destroyed and landed on a barren planet, and that thing's on rails, and that is like one of the best examples of that VR on rail gaming. The other ones would be the Until Dawn roller coaster ones. They made one for the original PSVR, and the PSVR 2 has its own variant of it, and both of them are fantastic, like completely blowing you away experiences. But the problem is they're exclusive to Sony, and that's where Sony kind of screwed up. They shouldn't have. That's where the entire VR industry, like all parties within VR, should never have made VR games exclusive to a platform. There wasn't a big enough audience. And it was like you're getting like one major game here to be exclusive or multiple for like such a small subset of gamers. Farpoint, that's the one, Mako. Yeah, that game is fantastic in VR, especially with that gun, that specific gun that they give you. There's nothing that really beats that. That thing plays, that's better than any, in my opinion, any kind of like arcade, light gun experience. That's our on rail experience. That's an amazing game. And it's cheap now. I mean, you can get it pretty cheap because you can buy it used. But I mean, who wants to go and buy everything just for one game, right? It's kind of ridiculous. But that's the problem. It's exclusive. And then it's also, that game specifically is marooned on the PS4, right? In that sense, because truly that game is, because you can't use that controller on the PS5, but you can use the VR headset on the PS5. You can get the adapter and make it work, but that controller won't come over, so you don't get the full experience. So that experience is marooned on a dead system that nobody's going to support any longer, right? And it's exclusive, so it'll never be on another platform because it was Sony's property. It's kind of crappy in that way it worked. I like Demio. Demio is great. I agree. I have that, and I think I have it on the PC and on MetaQuest. The devs gave me 2 copies, and to try it and kind of do that stuff for it, but to showcase it. I've shown some VR games, but not a ton, because it's I don't know. They get good. Like when I do a VR game, it does pretty well. Like I did the unboxing for the PSVR 2. And it did okay. I mean, I thought it did fine. Sony was happy, but I mean, in general, you got to kind of make it unique. Like in that one, what did I do for that? Like I showed, I kind of went a little bit all out, like some of the VR streamers do, I think, where you take a camera and you put it behind, and then you put like a green screen, and you have like the wheel, and then it looks like you're actually in the car in the video, right? And you're turning around. It's kind of a unique experience, but it's such a lot of like getting everything set up. And then, not everybody's interested in VR. So it's tough to get visibility on stuff like that, but VR is great. I enjoy it for myself. Inside the back rooms, those are always fun. I was thinking about even this for one of them, because these are shorter, right? But I think we'll be able to get through some. That duck season one, that looks interesting. It's psychological horror. I'll have to check that out. I don't know. I've never heard of it or never tried it. I had it. No, I didn't. There we go. Now it is. Metal Hellsinger VR. This is a great game. That one plays really, really well. It's super fast. Seventh Guest is fun. I've got this on the MetaQuest side, not on Steam, but this one's really good. If you never played Seventh Guest, like one of the oldest games out there, it's awesome. You have Demio on the PSVR 2 and Quest. Your wife plays with you. That's awesome. My wife does not like games at all. She can't do it. She couldn't even deal with VR sickness. That's number one. But she's not a gamer, so we live. It's funny. It's like people say, "Oh, you guys live completely separate lives." We get along in many other ways, but I mean, in general, yeah, she doesn't like games at all. Doesn't play them. Has no interest in them. Nothing like that. But that's cool that you guys play together. That's really awesome. I could see that being very fun, especially kind of like in that tabletop, VR setting environment. That'd be really fun. And you guys now, can you play together? I think it is cross-platform, right? Like if you're on the PSVR 2 and she's on the Quest, you guys can see each other and play. Oh, that's how you play it together. Yeah. I just read the end of it. Yeah, that's really cool. I like that. Seventh Guest is great. I remember so the Seventh Guest was kind of like the time that what was the other one? Myst came out. And I remember never owning a PC at this point. This was like early 90s, like 93. And I was working at like a Best Buy type thing, right? And we had gotten the first computers with CD-ROM, right, to sell. And the first thing I did was I like went and found that game and had them open up a copy or beg the managers to open up a copy and throw it in. So the evening after I was done like cleaning, I could check out Seventh Guest, like the original Seventh Guest, because I didn't have a computer or anything at that time. It was kind of funny. But it's really good though. I mean, on VR, this game is amazing. It like has the feel of it, but it looks amazing and plays amazing. But yeah, it is a good story. I mean, the Seventh Guest was written very well to survive that long, right? From 93 to 30 years later when it came out as a VR game. Arizona Sunshine 2. This is a good game. I like Arizona Sunshine franchise. So that's the VR hitters. Some deals. I mean, definitely on the top ones here. I mean, all of them are pretty good price because they're all regular games as well, right? Like this is a PC game. You just get a VR experience with it. Subnautica is a PC game. You get the VR experience with it. Forest, PC game. You can play without VR, but you get the VR experience. All of these are well worth it, right? Like right here. Oh, the Seventh Guest. Yeah, it's very cool. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fantastic. The dev sent me the key and I should show it. I just didn't get around to it for the like I said, VR just doesn't do well with it. And it probably would have been good timing. I don't know. Maybe I can do it. I might try to fit it in before the end of the month. I don't even know if it's on sale though. I kind of usually try to tie it in with like, usually when they send a key, like it'll be a period like where they're selling the game. When they sent that key over, it was just random. And there was no sale. And like, well, it doesn't really make sense, but maybe, right? Because the game wasn't brand new either. So I think it was like a PR firm for them. So usually it would tend to be like around a sale is when they'd be like, oh, can you show this? Right. And there's nothing like, oh, you have to say good things about it. I don't do deals like that because I don't really say anything about games except when we're doing like a live stream. And, that's my opinion. But I don't say like whether to buy a game on the Steam Deck or the VR headsets or whatever. So like, yeah, it usually like I would be, if I was a marketing guy for them, I'd be like, hey, let's make sure we time like all, streamer influencer keys to go out like when we're going to do a sale so we can get something out of it. They didn't do it. It just randomly showed up. So what's the up and coming ones? We'll take a look at the up and coming and we'll probably call it a night because I got to get up early because we're going to be playing Red Dead at 7 a.m. So I've got like about 8 hours from now. but I got to get up a little bit earlier and get everything ready. Haunted Paws looked interesting. This is kind of, I was thinking, is this kind of like a phasmophobia with dogs? But I don't know if it is. It's more like a kind of like puzzler, like almost like Resident Evil in that sense, right? Like without zombies, I don't think. Like where you got to get a key, the heart key goes in the heart door or whatever. So Holston is really interesting. I played this game a long time ago. So this actually might be, that one I had wishlist, but I played it, oh man, a year or 2 years ago, I think. So they must just be getting ready to launch that one. It's definitely an interesting game. Oh, no worries, Mikos. Yeah. No, appreciate it. But yeah, when everybody's got different things, I just thought, you know what? I'm going to check it out on both of those devices and then start playing the game, because I was going to play Undead Nightmare anyhow. And it's, a shorter experience. It's not as long. And I kind of thought, oh, that'd be kind of cool to stream. But my day gets screwed up as well. Not by that, but like I found out I got to go probably around 5 o'clock and go do a job for somebody. So I didn't expect that. I thought I'd be able to like stay at home all day. Not that I was going to stream all day, but like it looks like in the evening I got to be out. So yeah, that's how work gets in the way, I guess. Outbreak Island. This game looked really good when I saw this before. I definitely like this. And I think, it's already on the wish list. I can definitely see good things out of that, because it is truly, it's not like that other one we watched tonight, which is like that creepy shift. This is more like survival horror, crafting, and sandbox, right? All kind of tied together, and it looks really good. Into the Dead, Darkest Days, Our Darkest Days. Looks like a side scroller. It almost, I don't know, has a feel of like the War Among Us, or what was it? War Among Us? No. This War of Mine. Wasn't that it? So I think this War of Mine? Is that it? Oh my God. That was such a good game too. But it's been so long since I played it. Was it This War of Mine? This War of Mine. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it kind of reminds me of, although there's a lot more like zombies. There's no zombies in This War of Mine. Paranormal Tales. That's probably a shorter experience. I definitely think there's room for more of these like 2 to 4 hour like horror game experiences at like the $20 range. Like it could be like 29, it could be 10, like somewhere in between. Like the medium price is like $20, because you can't always play like every game when it's like 20 hours, 25 hours. Sometimes, well, especially for me, it doesn't work out. I like this carnival hunt look. It's got like some rabbits. I don't know. Oh, I have it wishlisted already. Sometimes I don't even remember what's on there. I have like 500 things on my wish list. And I just kind of check them off as I run through them. Legacy of Kain. This is kind of cool to see. Again, we were talking about remasters like earlier in the night. Like bring some of these things from PS2 and maybe PS1, remaster them and bring them forward so people can check them out and like do some cool stuff though. Like they could, maybe you don't force like a multiplayer in it, but you make like some kind of like, I don't know, achievements, Twitch integration, something, right? Like do something with them, but make them like accessible. Maybe, I don't know, $29 seems a little pricey for a remaster. Usually remasters don't cost a ton. Basically, it costs you to like import everything onto a new platform, which they're probably using like Unreal 4 or something to that nature. I don't know what they're using, but I mean, that would be my guess. Is like Unreal 4 or something, you know, Unity, something simple, right? And it's like an asset, like refresh, update, a couple $1,000,000, right? $1.5 million, something like that. Just being able to knock on 40, 50. Yeah, exactly. How far are you in Metaphor then, Mako? That's a longer game. That's going to be like, what, 60 hours, 60 plus hours, maybe 100 hours? I gave it to my kid. I was like, yeah, here. After I did the video, I was like, you're probably going to want to play this. They have access to my account, so I probably could sit there and play it, but yeah, I don't know. It's I would love to play things like it. Like hell, even for I'm sitting there trying to figure out, like, oh, can I get through Undead Nightmare, which I know is maybe 12 hours, 10 hours, but it's like you even sweat those little experiences. What else do we got? Anything? Far from the Darkness, Rusty Flesh. Okay, maybe Rusty Flesh looks a little interesting. I'd have to look back on that one. Silent Planet looks interesting. Kind of Metroidvania. I'm a sucker for Metroidvania games. Benny's Bash. This is a Mario. Oh, I get it. Oh, Sportal. I've heard of this one. I think I have it. No, I don't. But yeah, this one looks pretty cool. It's kind of like you're in Kansas or something like that. Doesn't it say on here? I don't know. I think it takes place somewhere in like rural Kansas or city in Kansas. And it's like 1950s or something of that nature. It looks really interesting. You get like tons of crazy weapons. It's like a shooter of some nature. It was I think during the summer they were promoting it for something. One of the Next Fest. Zombie Hood. The Lacerator. Soul Devourer. I don't know. I'm always excited about what horror games come out. There's always good ones. Not as many. I kind of thought we'd see a lot of like, you know, basically in this list, I kind of thought we'd see a lot of the roguelike bullet hells, but yeah, I think that may be slowing down slightly since it's pretty saturated right now with them. This one caught my eye though earlier. Casual simulator farming sim. Moonlight Peaks. I'm going to say it's maybe something like, I mean, for lack of a better reference, Stardew Valley, but like something, you know, along those lines. I know there's lots of games that are like Stardew Valley. Well, I guess there was one, this Mercare System Pulse. So there is like one there. Okay. I think we looked at pretty much free demos, anything that jumps out. This one I really want to do. I'm a big Lovecraftian type fan. I definitely want to check that out. This one looks cool. It's just a city. It's like a city builder, colony sim, but based around like Cthulhu or, you know, the Eldritch horror. So I like that. Devil in Me. These are always good. That guy died though, didn't he? I think the guy that voiced the Dark Pictures anthology, you know, the guy that does the introduction, I think he passed away. I don't think there'll be any more like with him. You're only on the second dungeon. Well, that's pretty good though. Making slow but steady progress. Trepang 2. That one's kind of cool. Scourge. Yeah, this is what I was saying. Oh, is this? No, this is a different one. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Like some of the horror games that are very much based on like a specific thing, culture reference, I don't always get because I don't know, kind of the same thing. Like if they were talking about like, oh, it's Bigfoot. Okay, I know Bigfoot. He's not really as scary as you'd think. What else do they? Wow, why is Middle Earth in there? That's so odd. Like just like they randomly got like the games that were on sale, like, okay, throw them in there. Sometimes that does happen. Like when I used to deal with Steam and I would put my games up. So like this Steam Scarefest would come up. You would have to like submit your games in and they would have to be somewhat relevant. And you'd have to, you didn't have to put them on sale, but it was basically like when you did a sale like that, you made like, man, in some weekends, like in a 4-day weekend, I made 10 times the revenues I would make on any other weekend, maybe even 20 times. Right. So, and you would drop the price down to 99 cents and you would make like $40,000 in a weekend, where normally you do like a few $1,000s over the weekend at $9.99. So it was always kind of like, oh, well, if you're going to do that, then make sure it's on deep discount or good sale or something like that, like 90%, right? That's going to do well. People have a hard time. They don't have a hard time, but some people have a hard time going like, yeah, I wanted to play that game, but I don't need to buy it now. But then they see 90% off and they're like, oh, I may never play it, but I'll buy it, right? Kind of thing. So that was always a big thing, but you had to submit your games to get it like approved to be in the sale. And that didn't even mean it would be featured on any of these pages, right? It would just be like, if somebody looked it up, it would say participating or something of that nature. So yeah, I'm kind of surprised though that like Middle Earth is in there. Just, I know it's on sale, but it's random. It's not really horror. I have a hard time with System Shock being horror as well. Inscription, I do see that, right? We all enjoy Inscription, and that's a good price, $7, $8. That's the time to pick up Inscription. Crow Country is kind of fun. It's like a Resident Evil, very much Resident Evil. Fear's good, although it looks a little dated now for sure. Demonologist, this is why I picked it up, is $10, $10.50. Mortuary Assistant, that's a fun game. That the developer or the publisher of that is Dread XP, I think. So they were kind of showing that within those like little clips as we watched that video. Resident Evil 4 not on sale. Surprising, because Capcom hit me up through their program and said, hey, we've got a big sale going on. I'm surprised they don't have Resident Evil 4 on sale. Although I know it's not the price it came out at, so. Panicore. Yeah, there's some good demos here. Check out. I mean, they're always there. I don't think they take them down. But yeah, fun stuff. All right. Hey, folks, I appreciate the Middle Earth. What's that say? The Middle Earth double pack is definitely calling your name. Oh, yeah, the Middle Earth one. Those games are amazing. The first one I thought was better than the second one, but they're both great. They're both good and they're both fun. And at that price, what, $10? Something like that for both, $4.99 for one of them. Yeah, it's they're worth it. Like I played all the way through the first one, didn't put it down. Like that's when I had some more time on my hands and really enjoyed that game. I love you would have the enemies, the different regions where they were like running things like camps or whatever. And then sometimes they would beat somebody and they would move up, right? And then you were like trying to defeat them, or, you strategically had to kind of go through them. There was some good stuff in those games. I like them. I've never really been a huge Lord of the Rings fan, but I have respect for the franchise and all that. I really enjoy watching the game, the movies. Not that they were the best movies I ever saw, but I really enjoyed watching them. But I like some of the stuff that comes out of it. And one of the games was definitely the Middle Earth part of the franchise. Far better than the other games, in my opinion, for it. So cool. I appreciate everybody. The Nemesis system was great. Yeah, that was it. The Nemesis system. I thought that was really cool. That was such a interesting mechanic in the way that they did, just kind of the open world, like go and capture the flag almost in that sense, right? I thought it was really cool. Or take control of this area, right? Whatever you'd call that. But yeah, I like that. That was cool. Okay. All right. I'm going to get out of here, folks. I appreciate everybody for tuning in, just hanging out. I will do these a little bit more like in the future. So it's the same day. I wanted to do this one just to talk about it. But ended up, got busy, had to work on Friday, like that long shift, stuff like that, do things like that. So it ended up being that it wasn't until tonight, but really appreciate everybody for sitting around watching and chit chatting. And I'll be back on in about 7.5 hours, kicking off Red Dead. So appreciate everybody for hanging out. If you can make that, definitely. Otherwise, don't worry about it. There'll be the VODs, and then I will be making the videos specifically for the Steam Deck performance and the Legion Go performance and stuff like that. Maybe even a comparison between Steam Deck OLED and Steam Deck LCD, just to help everybody decide if it's worth your time, money, anything like that. Yeah, appreciate it, Mako. Have a good evening. Everybody else, Steve, all those folks, thank you for stopping in. All the folks on Twitter and X, definitely thank you for watching, and for the folks on Twitch as well, like Mako. So appreciate all those folks for hanging out. And if you're on Kick as well, thanks for watching. I know we don't talk as much to those folks. It's just, I think they're more of lurkers and quiet, but that's cool. But yeah, appreciate everybody. If you haven't already, subscribe on YouTube if you want. Follow on Twitch, follow on Twitter, X, and on Kick and wherever else you see it. And I'll talk to you guys in the morning. All right, everybody, have a good night. See ya.